Chris, you must have had 20 nuggets of gold in there. I can't remember all of them, but video, SEO, email, and I agree 100%. Email is not dead. It's far from it. It's just being used differently than I think it was 5 or 10 years ago, and it'll continue to evolve and change. And so that brings me to this next point. Let's just say there's only 7 pillars, and I'm well aware there's other pillars, but this is where our focus is at. But it doesn't matter. When someone is either starting an agency or they're in their agency and they're realizing that they're here and they really want to be here, they've got some work to do. And my question to you is, how much should they do on their own and how much should they outsource?
It's a great question. And I'll catch some slack, I can promise you, with the way I answer this. I think you need both.
Yeah.
Anybody that outsources 100%, they'll never accomplish or reach the goal where they could be reaching if they had in-house people. For example, I have in-house marketing people, 2 full-time marketing people. They have no insurance license. I don't want an agent to tell me, oh, well, she's licensed. Well, if she's licensed, she's going to sell, because selling makes money, right? Well, marketing is selling, and I would highly recommend to get 2 aggressive young marketing people. The average 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old grew up in the social media age. They market without even know they're marketing.
Yeah. So
I wholeheartedly believe that it's a percentage of both. We do 90% of our marketing, probably 95% ourselves. We create all our own content. We create all our own visuals. But you know what we need? We need consultants to learn and to understand how content marketing is changing, how visual marketing is changing, how blogging is changing, and how now blogs 4 years ago was content. And then what ended up happening is now all of a sudden you can't put out a 300-word content, a blog. Mm-hmm. Now you got to put out a 750 because that's what Google wants. Now your blog better have a call to action plan, right? Now you're writing great content, and at the end, do you have a box basically inviting them? Mm-hmm. In our blog, you're going to see you can contact us by leaving your name and your email address. You can click a button and just type in your phone number, and within 27 seconds, we will connect with you to answer your questions. And or you can literally say, please call me back, and leave your number. So we leave 3, and it's hard to add more than that. Once you get into call to actions, more than 3 could be overwhelming. But, basically, do you want me to call you? Do you want to call me? Or do you want to email me? And at the end of the day, if there's no call to action plan, you're not profitable. Your marketing is just spinning its wheels, and you have to be profitable. So that would be, my tip for people. And you can't say from a person starting small to a person who's larger. There's a lot of larger agencies doing a lot of great things, but I also know some very good friends of mine that have in excess of 300 employees that are doing nothing for marketing. I can only imagine if they brought in, which they're in the hundreds of millions of dollars in commissions. Just bring in 3 marketing people full time.
Yeah.
Right? And can you imagine with the right consultant firm working with them to say, hey, here's a brand guide. This is what we're going to do. You're going to be the content writer. You're going to be the visual content queen. You're going to do this. You have to. We distribute in our office on marketing, and it's key. So no matter what, to answer your question, you need both. You can't do it outsourcing 100%. You can't do it in-house 100%, because you cannot tell me that in-house you still need consultants who study SEO every single day. Mm-hmm. Impossible for us to know. You can't do consultant work if I hired you 100%. Do you understand my community?
No, that's the point. Yeah.
You don't understand my community, and then the next step I would ask you, you would have to ask me to define my community, because every business has a community that's different. And if I asked you to define your community, I bet you it would be drastically different than how I define mine.
Sure.
My community is not Stafford Springs, Connecticut, which I love where I live. It is the United States of America. I don't outsource. I do not go to China. I don't outsource I could go to India for $150 a week for 40 hours and get rid of my 2 staff, and it would be everything against my moral and ethical code. It destroys my brand. And if you go against what your brand is, that's why you have to be real with your brand. Your brand is who you are. That brand needs to stand out. I don't go against it. I refuse to outsource to other countries. That's me, right? And do I outsource? I do have consultant work, absolutely, because I need to keep up on things.
Yep.
I got an SEO specialist. I contact him at least once a month. I need to understand what is Google doing to change. And I don't have to read 100 hours of books. I can literally say, give me an hour, give me the skinny. And it's very helpful. So to answer your question and make it long, you need both. And anybody that's going to have success, you have to have both.
Well, I think we agree with everything you just said because of just that fact. Number one, if you learn SEO inside and out, first of all, the amount of time it would take you to get there would mean that you're not doing anything in your business. And then, are you trying to be a professional in the insurance or the financial realm, or are you trying to be a professional in the marketing realm? But I do think, to your point, as marketers ourselves, and we've got partnerships and we do outsource, but as marketers ourselves, I can't possibly know your clientele, your community, your goals as well and as intimately as you do. So
Absolutely.
I think, to your point, you've got to be involved. But I also, at the other end of the spectrum, look, Mr. or Mrs. Insurance person, if you're spending more hours working on your marketing than you are talking to folks, that's not the highest and best use of your time. So I agree with Chris in that you've got to find that what your own balance is, but it's one that you've got to be involved with, and don't even get try to avoid the point where micromanaging. But look at the one thing I'd leave you with is look at the numbers. If you start working with someone, you start actively putting in time in your marketing, establish what your benchmark is today, and tomorrow, whatever tomorrow looks like, if it's next quarter, next year, you want to see an uptick in your progress, right? That's the
Absolutely.
return on your investment for all the hard work that you're putting in. But if you're that person who finds it easier to, I'm going to go on social media for 5 minutes and 2 hours disappeared, that's probably a clue that you're spending too much time and not getting enough progress done.
But don't you see, and I don't know how many agencies you've been working with, but the most frustrating thing for me as an agent, I hear people say, well, I'm going to hire this person, and they're cheap, and they're going to do my website.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Well, I say one simple thing. When you wake up in the morning, and you're presenting, and I'm presenting in front of you, okay, and I don't brush my hair, I don't brush my teeth, and I come in my pajamas. What's the difference of me showing up in your office without brushing my teeth, without combing my hair, without dressing up? I'm going to come in my pajamas. What's the difference than hiring this person to create your website because it was cheap? That's all I hear. Cheap, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work in anything. And if you don't hire a professional, there's other things that irritate me in the insurance space. Is a lot of agents go and they want to hire another insurance agent to create their website or to create videos or to create this, or, hey, they're the SEO specialist. Well, if they're selling insurance, they're not the SEO specialist. I love marketing. I live marketing. It's my passion. It's my love. I happen to be insurance. Now, I do own a brewery. I do own a hair salon, and I own several other technology businesses. At the end of the day, they're all the same. It all starts with the brand. And, you need to hire professionals. Don't try to think you can just, go the cheap route or go the easy route, or, hey, I know this person and they do this on the side. That's like me going to my car mechanic. I have a 4 and 5, an L4 and 5 bulge disc. Do you think I'm going to go to my car mechanic and say, can you fix my discs? I mean, there's no difference. But I hear it every day. They're saying, oh, I'm going to go hire. Just find somebody who does this full time. There's a reason why there's different levels of websites, and there's a reason why search engine optimization is different. Some websites are found, some websites are never found.
Yep.
It's because it's who you hire. So the one last tip I would say, it's like Twitter. I have some friends in the insurance space that have 10 to 15 to 20,000 Twitter followers, right? If you go down the last 30 posts, the max anyone got was 2 likes.
Yeah.
Wrong audience. Or you purchased them. Social media isn't about how many Twitter followers you have. Social media isn't about how many friends you have. It's about having the right audience.
Yeah.
If I have a special program and we write FedEx contractors, and a guy comes to me and he's a chiropractor, even though we are a generalist, we can write that. If he comes to me or one of my right-hand men who only do FedEx, you know what they're going to tell you? I'm sorry. I specialize in this. And that is key to insurance. And I think, unfortunately, marketing consultants are a little bit behind in the insurance space because the insurance space has kind of not embraced it as much. I think that's going to change because the ever marketing world is changing so fast and so quick that websites now are, people are start talking about, hey, now I want to get serious with a website. Well, you should have been serious 7 years ago because now I have 7 years ahead of you.
Yep.
Where I can generate that business. But if somebody was new or somebody was older in the business, first thing I would say is brand guide, website. You have to. It's your brand, it's your image. Your website is a walking business card. It's as important as that piece of paper that I sent you.